Okay, my parents both each had a connection to Asia, had visited Asia, and so had I. In 2006, visited China. My parents and myself had been to Asia, had been to Korea, or my mother went to Malaysia, I guess. And she was in the Peace Corps. My father was in the military. He went to Korea. Both my parents had sex with Chinese men, or the equivalent of Chinese men. Maybe Stephen had Korean men up his butt when he was a young man in Korea. Maybe he had Japanese men up his butt after he returned to and went to college in San Francisco and became a teacher. And my mother had sex. She probably had them up their butt too. Chinese men, they all love to go up your butt, and I probably had them too. I think maybe, but not when I visited China. So, if you hadn't had any Chinese men up your butt, it doesn't make you gay. It just makes you more sophisticated. So some men are jealous and they're saying, well, your connection to China is this song by Devo. No, it isn't. My parents were in Korea. My father was in Korea and my mother was in Malaysia before. And I had no idea about this song by Devo having anything to do. Well, apparently it seems like the guy was giving a tribute to Thomas Dossler for mutual satisfaction with pedophilia, and or adult child sex is a better way to say it, because the word pedophilia is used by the terrorists to threaten people who've never done anything, who just maybe saw a picture or something. And Thomas Dossler, well, he didn't see, I don't think he had a connection to Asia before the video featured a Chinese woman, and I guess that Chinese woman was supposed to represent my father, maybe me too, I don't know. They're saying that there's a guy, you think that we're being insulting to this Chinese woman, but we're really portraying a white man who has the feelings of a Chinese woman when he's had Chinese boyfriends up his butt, and he's like this little Chinese woman clapping her hands, and her eyes are going crossed. And maybe that's also about Jessica. I mean, there was a girl named Jessica who had her eyes crossed. Well, I never thought I was in a music video, but I know adults get excited about, men get excited, and women too, get excited about adult child sex. So then they start hopping around and jabbing their fingers at the keyboard, and they start hopping around and chanting about, and that's what they do in Nickelodeon, and that's what they do in Hannah Montana when they're having sex with children at Nickelodeon studios, or during video shoots of Hannah Montana, having an adult child sex maybe with the producer and director. And people get excited about that, and they start making music that's carefree, and that's what Devo was about. And I didn't think it was particularly important, and it was never my vehicle. It was their vehicle, and it wasn't bad. It was okay. It was more important to Thomas Dossler than it was to me. But like I said, the society of Asia is not everything to me, but I admire them more because a closer look at them makes me admire them more. I liked their society, but I was reading false propaganda against them, portraying them as inhumanly disciplined and tough. Everybody's got human fallibility, but they're just people that we should recognize them, acknowledge them for the work that they do, building our cars and our computers, and I think they invented the computer. That's not important, I guess, but I think it was their manufacturing expertise that brought them to the level where that they could invent the computer chip, the microchip, and they did. And nobody else had that level of manufacturing, and they brought it together. They had the scientists who had enough engineers, materials with enough materials, extracting rare metals, rare earths from vast quantities of metal that they were metal ore. So their manufacturing and their engineering supported their applied scientists, who supported their theoretical scientists, and they made it happen because they were the most diligent workers. I'm not saying they're dumb, but I think that the Chinese manufacturing and a strong workforce and a social harmony were the factors that made them able to be the first to invent the computer microchip. And then the British said, we invented it first, we already had it, it was made with vacuum tubes. We had it in World War II, and we used it to break the encryption of the Germans. And that computer, I think, did not exist. And then they say, well, you're just gay for the Chinese. Well, you're just American Christians who are liars and rapists, and British liars and rapists. And what else? Anyway, so that song was not very important to me, but I liked the song. And it was never my connection to Asia. It was never my vehicle.